Greetings. Welcome to Karen Hope's 15 Minutes of Solid Inspiration Weekly Review. Now, if I may explain a bit about the channel, because this is our first upload, I'm going to properly introduce myself. My name is Karen Hope. I am 50 years old. I have two children, 15-year-old Glory and 11-year-old Joy. I can't introduce myself properly without introducing them. But I guess from there I'll just keep going. Currently, I produce a podcast called Karen Hope's 15 Minutes of Solid Inspiration. And right now it's distributed over about 9 different podcast platforms, including Anchor is where I record from. Anchor, the Anchor app, podcast app, and then Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. I mean, you could talk to Siri and say, "Hey Siri, find Karen Hope's 15 Minutes of Solid Inspiration," and she'll say, "Okay." So, and there's probably about 5 more. There's Breaker and Radio Public and Overcast and a couple of others. Did I say Spotify? But you know what? The links will be provided in the description box below. But during the podcast, actually what I'll be doing is producing or releasing 6 to 7 podcasts a week. I say maybe 6 because of, life happens and mommy duties. And sometimes it just may be 6, but never any less than 6. And it just depends on the week. And during the podcast, I talk about how wonderfully and uniquely made every single one of us is. Seriously. And why we need to stay inspired to believe and receive that fact. We need to believe and receive that we are abundance. We are strength. We are courage. We are power. We are the things that we call on in less than ideal situations and conditions and circumstances. We are that, and we have everything in our being to help us through. Thank God for that. We literally thank God for that. And also we are a blessing. We're a blessing every day of our lives to someone. And we have to believe these things about ourselves. Because, occasionally our view of ourselves gets skewed, right? Because of disappointments and just life. Like I said, life happens and we get disappointed. Self-doubt comes in. Worry and anxiety come in. Low self-esteem plays a very crippling part in negative energies and being stifled. It's stifled and not being able to unroot ourselves from bad feelings. It also takes away our power to co-create. God gives us that power. He gives us that power, that ability, and I almost want to say privilege. That when we're born, He created us, He designed us that way to be able to co-create. I'm just going to say this quickly. I'm going to refer to the Word of God occasionally because that's where my faith is anchored. And that's the truth. I don't like to use the word but when I'm talking about God, like B-U-T. I don't like to use that. What I want to say is when we want to hear about Jesus, when we want to hear about stories in the Bible in detail and then we need to go to church. And I'm not saying that in a funny way, because when you get there, you'll probably see me there also. Or by the door or something, because the sanctuary is a powerful place to be. and it's even more powerful to want to be there. So just that little piece of advice. But getting back on task. When we keep a negative mindset, it takes away our power to co-create. Now, going back to the Word of God really quickly, He tells us to give all our cares over, our worries and our doubts over to Him. What that means is don't worry. It's just flat out our instruction not to worry, and sometimes we do. No, we do more worrying than not, don't we? And we really don't have to. We start to think about our trouble when we know that trouble has been taken care of already. So things are just troubling, and it'll put us in a position of a negative mindset, and it just really throws everything off balance. And that's another thing we talk about. It's balance. Because when our balance is off, we cannot manifest. We can't think clearly. And when we can't think clearly, oh yes, we're manifesting, but we're not manifesting good things because we get what we think. So, we do manifest those things. Like I was talking about the not so ideal situations that happens when we harbor resentment and we thrive on bitterness. And another thing it'll do, it'll make your body sick. It'll make your head ache and your muscles ache and your tummy hurt. Yeah. So not only do we vibe on that manifesting, keep it. We get what we think. We get what we feel inside. We talk about that balance throwing us off in every aspect and avenue in our life. And we'll just be, every episode we'll just reiterate that, we'll just reinforce, we'll just go over balance and manifestation and staying positive and thinking positively and giving ourselves affirmations daily that we can do it. And to be able to do that, and we can do that for ourselves, we can do it for someone else. And that same balance, that negative balance, affects our life in every aspect and avenue, and so does the positive balance. It affects our life and everyone around us. Either way. So what we'll be doing is this channel will be dedicated, again, to doing quick overviews of each podcast. And again, each podcast link will be included in the description box below, just in case you missed an episode or just need like a refresher or a reminder. And since it's only 15 minutes, we can do it while we're in the shower, driving to the store, or working out, or putting on our lipstick, or doing our hair, washing dishes. And y'all can hear me get excited. And sometimes it's 15 minutes, but sometimes it runs over to maybe 20. Because sometimes we just have to say it, right? Yeah, but we will be dedicating, each time we review, we'll be dedicating 2 to 3 minutes per episode, which I said will be 6 or 7. That's already like 21 minutes. Like, we keep it to 2 minutes, it's already 21 minutes. And then we'll spend about 10 minutes, with some awesome affirmations. Like, wrap up the video with some awesome affirmations. And like I said, I'll be including the podcast links in the description box below. But once you start to listen and enjoy, which I know you will, there'll be an option for you to become one of my monthly supporters. And my lovely monthly supporter circle, for 99 cents, $4.99, or $10.99 a month. Let me tell y'all, I would not I would not be able to. I mean, I guess I would have been able to, but it wouldn't have been so easy, and I wouldn't have felt so gung-ho, and my gumption wouldn't have been so high if I didn't have these people believing in me. And let me tell you, there are, count them, 10 plus 1, 11 people that support my podcast. You know that? And to some that may seem low, but to me it feels like 11 million, because it's just the universe supporting my dream. And it's showing me that there are people who also have faith in me, and I know that I can grow this channel and grow my podcasts just by being inspired and staying positive. And I know that I can also do the same with your support. Like I said, this exchange of energy is so amazing. It's so amazing. So you can inspire me, and I can inspire you 15 minutes at a time and daily. I mean, that's so cool to me. So now, up to date, we have 76 episodes that are produced. And we're not going to start this channel, with episode 1. That's 76 podcasts times 15 minutes or so. That's a lot of minutes. So what I'm going to do is start with episode 76 and end the week with 82 or 83, depending on if it's 6 or 7. And it will be every Sunday. And we're going to upload the video. We're going to review the week. And we're going to remind ourselves. How blessed we are. We're going to remind ourselves how, with positive affirmations and positive thoughts, coming from a posture, in a place, in a position of positivity, we're going to remember that we can manifest our heart's desire. We can bring in peace. We can embody strength. And we can reflect in abundance, because that's what we are. We are those things. And to be exactly what God created us to be, we have to believe it. We have to believe that we are divinely, uniquely, and wonderfully made. We're wonderfully made creatures with the courage and the faith to believe it all